Greetings, loves. It is I, Tactical Girlfriend. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well. Today for you, I have a run-through of all the stages and courses at High Desert Brutality 2024. This is a really fun competition that's hosted by the good folks at InRange TV. It's generally a two-gun comp, but there's all sorts of different kinds of divisions and stages inspired by pop culture references and ranges generally going out to about 500 yards. I had a lot of fun at the last year's High Desert Brutality, so if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out. But this year was also no slouch, so I'm really excited to show all the stages for you and show you how I did. Now, there were a lot of wildfires all over the region, adding an appropriate atmosphere of apocalyptic smoke and temperatures that ranged up to 100 degrees. It was pretty harsh, but still a very fun competition, and I'm very excited to show you what it's all about. So without further ado, let's get into it. On this first stage, called Sicario, I start seated in a passenger seat of an SUV, feet inside the cabin, rifle loaded, sighted on any target. At the buzzer, I engage 5 static steel targets in the bay, 60 to 100 yards away, with 2 hits on each. I then exit the SUV, and from the A-pillar of the door, engage 3 targets beyond the bay, ranging 125 to 200 yards away with 1 hit on each. After that, I move on to the minivan and engage the same 3 targets. I then move into the minivan and engage the previous 5 steel targets in the bay from the other side.
Hit in the car. 1, 2.
Then I put my feet on the ground and engage 3 targets beyond the bay again from the outside of the minivan.
Hit. Hit. Hit.
After, I move up to the sedan and engage the same 3 targets. Then I move to the hood and repeat the same. I definitely forgot some of my planning around how I wanted to position myself here, but I worked through it. Finally, I flipped the spinner over for a 60-second bonus. This one had holes in it, so it was definitely a little extra challenge, but I finally nailed it shortly after a reload.
$196.73.
My total time on this stage was 196.73. I had the 60-second bonus from flipping the spinner, so my total score was 136.73. The second stage here is Salang Pass. I start on the barricade, handgun holstered in condition 3, and rifle loaded and sighted in on one of 2 targets 50 yards away in the convoy. At the buzzer, I need to get 2 hits on each of these 2 targets. Unfortunately, my first-person camera got bonked by my scope under recoil, so the angle isn't quite where it should be for the next few stages. My apologies. I then need to shoot 2 rather small 6 MOA targets in the valley at 220 yards with 1 hit on each. Then I have to engage 3 targets up the hill at 330, 440, and 550 yards respectively with 1 hit on each. Finally, I drop my mag and clear my rifle on the high-value mini IPSC target at the front of the convoy at 50 yards. Afterwards, I sling my rifle and move up to the convoy, engaging 3 targets through the minivan with 2 hits on each. Then I move on to the bus and re-engage those same 3 targets again.
Two. Hit. Two.
I then move to the back of the bus and clear the Texas Star, and then load a fresh mag to neutralize the spinner for a 30-second bonus. Lastly, I ground my pistol and reload my rifle, engaging those same 2 small targets in the valley with 1 hit on each. I definitely got flustered here and rushed my shots, but I eventually got them in. My total time was 190.35, and then I had a 30-second bonus, making my total score 160.35. The third stage is called Over the Top. On this stage, I start with my rifle loaded and aimed at one of 2 poppers at 50 yards. I have to alternate fire on each with 2 hits on each. I then back off the berm, load a mag of Mark 262, and move to engage 4 targets ranging at 150 yards to 400 yards from the tank trap with 1 hit on each. I repeat this from the next tank trap, the doghouse, and the platform respectively to finish off the stage.
Hit!
My time on this stage was 1:44:52.
You're clear. Firm. Trigger. Good to go. 14452.
On to stage 4. This one is called the Whistleblower. I stand at the door of the cyborg Whistleblower's safe house. I must infiltrate the safe house, retire the cyborg, and retrieve their head for analysis by Arasaka counter intel. I start with my handgun loaded and holstered, rifle unloaded and slung. I then enter the safe house and engage a knockdown hostage taker target with one shot, not hitting the hostage, which would have been a 30-second penalty. After, I move into the house and engage 3 targets with 2 hits on each. Finally, I move on but get turned around, which happened in the same exact shoot house last year as well. I get to the last position in the house to engage a plate rack with a series of no-shoot plates in front of each target. I cleared all the targets with no hits on the no-shoots, which are a 60-second penalty for each no-shoot hit. I then drop my magazine and fire a clearing shot into the cyborg and pick up its head, a 50-pound kettlebell, carrying it to the extraction helicopter, which is a wobble platform. The head must remain on the wobble platform as I shoot the rest of the stage. I then have to load my rifle and engage 2 auto poppers with 2 alternating hits on each, and then must spin the spinner 65 yards away.
Hit. 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 Spinner. Missing. Over. 141.99.
My time here was 1:41:99.
Dry fire down range.
On to stage 5, circle the wagons. On this stage, I start with my rifle loaded at low ready and pistol loaded and holstered. At the buzzer, I engage 5 targets with my rifle through the barricade with 2 hits on each. I definitely struggled a little here as my bipod kept getting hung up on the barricade. After that, I put my rifle on safe and dump it in the box. I then run over to a table and pick up a lever action rifle, shooting 5 rounds at the plate rack for a 5-second bonus on each. I do get a light primer strike here and unfortunately have to forfeit one of those shots. Then I ditched the stage gun and engaged 4 auto poppers with my handgun with 1 hit on each. I then engaged the remaining targets on the plate rack for an additional 5-second bonus for each.
Hit. Hit. Plate rack if you want to. Bonuses. Don't want to, move on. 2 bonuses.
Afterwards, I then run over to the spinner and must move it enough to hit the auto popper behind it. Lastly, I run to engage the remaining 2 steel targets with my handgun from each of the square shooting positions. If I miss, I must fall back to the previous box and re-engage them again. After the first box, I choose to shoot the large silhouette target, which allows me to lock in my position so that I don't need to fall back if I miss a shot.
Hit. Hit. Shoot the big plate to lock it in.
My total time here was 161.53, and then I got a 20-second bonus, so my total score was 141.53.
Holster.
The 6th stage is called Transmission. This is a really cool stage design. Shout out to Lead Cloud for making really great props and just generally creating a really nice immersive environment on the stage. Here I start on a rooftop prop, handgun loaded at low ready with my rifle in condition 3 staged under the radio receiver, which we'll get to in a minute. I engage 4 knockdown targets through the holes of the Know Your Limits target. I then run into the trench and engage 3 steel targets with 2 hits on each. I finally drop my magazine and attempt to engage a clearing shot on the last steel target, but I just barely miss it, which would have given me a 5-second bonus. Then I must go through the trenches to collect radio components, an antenna, cable, and battery, which was pretty heavy. I then have to run the components to the radio transmitter and assemble them, but I almost forgot to flip the switch to power on the radio. After, I run to the receiver tower and must rotate it 180 degrees. Finally, I retrieve my rifle and engage 3 steel targets from 3 different positions around the barricade. My total time was 163.54. The 7th and last stage here is called Rush B. On this Counter-Strike inspired stage, I start with my handgun loaded and holstered, rifle unloaded and slung. At the buzzer, I must clear the Polish plate rack. I then hit the silhouette in the back with 1 hit, which I almost forgot and had to go back for. Missing that target is a 30-second penalty each time it's engaged. I then move on, jumping over a tripwire, which is a 60-second penalty for tripping, and then onto the VTAC and clear the plate rack, again engaging the silhouette in the back with 1 hit. My stage planning was pretty shaky here, and I also nearly forgot that I had to engage that last steel target again from the VTAC and had to get back in position behind it. After that, I jump over the next tripwire and move on to the next position, clearing the tombstone plate rack, drop my magazine, and hit the silhouette in the back again with one last clearing shot. From there, I holster and grab a code tag from the defuse kit and run to the next bay, jumping over another tripwire and arriving at the bomb. At the bomb, I enter the code on the tag to begin the bomb disarming sequence. After that, I load my rifle, jump over the next tripwire, and engage 2 steel targets at 80 yards away, shooting offhand. Because we were workshopping these stages first, I was going off of the initial stage plan and forgot that I had to go back to the bomb. I make it over to the bomb and pull the yellow wire as indicated on the bomb's LCD screen. Failing to pull the correct wire before the bomb goes off is a 60-second penalty. Finally, I jump over 2 tripwires and engage the Know Your Limits target at 80 yards away from the VTAC. My time on this last stage was 1:19.72.
Alright, into the berm, hammer, good to go.
Thank you.
1:19.72. Smoking, nice run.
Woo, thank you.
My placement for Partisan Division was 14 out of 47, and my overall placement was 34 out of 118. My ranking goes up a little bit in every brutality event that I attend, and this is my best one yet. And so that concludes my coverage of High Desert Brutality 2024. In ranges, brutality events are always, bar none, the most fun kinds of competitions I consistently attend. They're just a blast. If you can make it out to one of these, definitely try it out. It's well worth your while. I also really hope that you enjoyed this year's coverage. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell too. And as always, you know what I'm gonna say next here. Huge shout out to all my supporters on Patreon. You keep me shooting, you keep me filming, and you keep this channel going. I could not do any of this without y'all, and I really appreciate all the support I can get. If you want to go help me out, you can always go to patreon.com/tacticalgf. The biggest contributors are named at the end of the video. And so that's all the brutality footage that I have to review with you today. I really appreciate you all tuning in. Please be good to each other out there. And as always, please take care. Bye!